Welcome back, Wolfpack. Verlis here, and today we are looking at Xerneas. Now, this is where it gets a bit interesting, but a bit just really simple. If you look at Xerneas, there's only really one way to run him, and that's going with the Power Up Geomancy combo. If we look at Geomancy, for those of you who have not dabbled in it yet, it's a pretty messed up move. Sharply raises special attack, special defense, and speed on the second turn. Now, that means you're getting all sorts of crazy, ridiculous, just stupid over-the-top, ridiculously strong stats in 2 turns. Like, even if you break it down, that means you're getting one of these each turn on average, but that's not how Xerneas plays. So if we look over here, Power Herb, 2-turn moves, Geomancy counts as that, is completed in 1 turn, which means your Geomancy is a first turn. That you're going to get all of these stats, and you're going to turn around some insane stuff on your opponent almost instantly, which really makes it just makes Xerneas almost too strong, that you can pump all these stats into him that fast. As well as if we look at the stats, these are legendary stats. You know, huge defenses, huge offenses, huge hit points, and great speed overall. That's a legendary Pokemon. Those base stats are incredible, and with Geomancy, you're doubling 3 stats, and all 3 stats are incredibly useful. But this is where it starts getting to where I find some ridiculous flaws in many people's strategies. One thing that bothers me the most is that when people look at a Pokemon, they immediately go 252, 252, done, without really thinking about the strategy. So if you look at Xerneas, a lot of people kind of go with the obvious 252 special attack, 252 speed, and they call it good. They just kind of, you know, brush off their hands and go, alright, I made a strategy today. Wrong. What people don't seem to realize is that with Geomancy, you're doubling your speed. So if we do a quick thing, well, actually I don't think I need to do that, but if we do a quick thing here, and we go and we max out the speed, even with a neutral nature, that's almost 300, which means if you're doubling your speed, you're getting close to 600, and if you have, let's say, a timid nature, which is what some people also recommend, again, your speed is looking absolutely ridiculous when you actually get those stats. You know, this is when you're getting really niche, that this is only good for trying to stop a Scarf Pokemon, or a Pokemon that's also trying to boost up its speed. Perhaps another Xerneas, but overall, it's, I feel, not worth it. That's why I'm trying to make this Pokemon really strong and really balanced. I'm trying to remember the exact stats I had. I believe I had more special attack than defense or something like that. What I'm looking at here is Pokemon has naturally incredible hit points. Keep it that way. Pokemon has no way of boosting its defense, but a way of boosting its special defense. Well then, since you're going to be doubling your special defense on the first turn, you don't need to give it any care. So that's why I was thinking you go with the defensive nature, you don't have to give it a ton of investment, and your special attack still gets really high. So now that we have, you know, you're still going to be doubling your special attack from the Geomancy, over 600 special attack with the ability Fairy Aura, Fairy type moves are boosted by 1.3 times. Moonblast hits incredibly hard and has stab. This thing is going to be your main coverage move, and it's going to hit hard on almost everything. So that's why I feel, you know, you don't need to max out the special attack. You don't need to worry about speed, because everything else is really cared for, and the only thing you're going to lose out to is another Xerneas, and maybe a super fast Scarf Pokemon. On top of that, you don't really have too many threats, and this is a lot better overall, because no matter what happens first turn, if you're using Geomancy, you're taking damage. It doesn't matter if you have 300 speed when you're using it, because you're not using an offensive move. The opponent doesn't have a chance of fainting unless they use something like Memento. I think that's the move I'm trying to look for. So your opponent is going to hit you. Now, I see it that you might just want to endure the hit better. There's a lot of... Well, actually, there isn't a lot, but there's still things that can go wrong when trying to set up. So if you look at Xerneas, I just feel it's better to go this tanky route. Be creative. You know, a lot of people that are going 252, 252, I don't think they realize that your speed is already going up and you're already taking damage for the turn. That if you're going first and you're not doing a damaging move, but you're going first on the second turn and one-hitting your opponent, the same result is happening, but by running this set, you're going to be healthier. You're going to be in a better position, and you're going to be able to endure potentially more hits, potentially a lot better. Now let's go and look at the actual moveset here really quick. We have Moonblast, we have Flash Cannon, and Psychic Shock. There's a lot of things you can do here. Flash Cannon, just good fairy coverage. It's a strong hitting move, 80 base power. Has a chance to lower its target special defense. Actually, that doesn't really matter too much. And overall, it's something that you could use to help handle other Xerneas and other fairy-type Pokemon, since there are quite a bit of them. Then we also have Psychic. This is mostly just a good overall coverage move, and something for that, you can also use Psyshock. Other than that, there's quite a few things that you can go with. Focus Blast. I do not recommend Focus Blast. People mean it as a staple, but that 70% accuracy makes it too risky for me. I am sorry. And then on top of that, we also have Thunderbolt. So you can look at something like that. Depends on what your team needs. Depends on what you feel you just need. I'm not going to tell you guys the absolute definitive strategy, but pretty much Geomancy and Moonblast are a must. That's about it. And yeah, so I could go on about stats and being creative a bit more. I don't think it's necessary though. You have good bulk here, and you're going to be incredibly fast, incredibly defensive, and incredibly awesome. What else do you need? So that's Xerneas. This is about all I can come up with for it, because really you're relying on Geomancy. There's no use trying anything else. You're going to have a Power Herb. Really no use trying anything else, because it's just so strong. Even in legendary Pokemon play, this is very used and incredibly strong. As for counters, because I think this is a Pokemon that will get so much play in the April friendly that you probably need to know how to handle it. Counters, something that hits hard, hits fast, and hits poison or steel before it can set up. Pretty much you have one chance to set it up, a potential Focus Sash to handle it afterwards, it's going to try to one-shot you really fast. You have a Focus Sash hanging in the background, and you really just need to try to land good hits. Scizor is a good Pokemon. I believe Mega Scizor does a 2-hit KO with Bullet Punch, so first turn Bullet Punch, second turn Bullet Punch, shuts down Xerneas before it can do anything. Things like that. You really need to be able to tank it, and you need to hit it physically, or you just need to outspeed it and overrun it fast. So that's my help I can give on Xerneas. It's not a truly undefeatable, unstoppable Pokemon, but it is something you might want to either consider running or consider looking into hard counters for, which there are very few. But also you can look at its coverage, You really only have Fairy, Electric, potentially Psychic, and maybe Fighting, depending on what other moves. But so if you can find a way to, try to stay neutral, try to be a very specially defensive Pokemon, you can handle Xerneas pretty well. So, just something to make note of. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. At least I was able to talk about legendary Pokemon a bit creatively. You look at this flat moveset, but I feel a lot of people are just giving very bad movesets, and that if it wasn't for April Friendly, I probably wouldn't have looked into this, but that's actually a bad thing, because you can get a lot more creative with Xerneas, and you can have a lot more potential power overall. Just be more rounded. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you all have a nice day.